I know. But she comes there every minute. Call meeting to order. Pledge of Allegiance, Councilmember White. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, now I would like to take a moment of silence for the family of Daniel Vasquez and the North Kansas City Police Department and the Belton Police Department and all law enforcement personnel throughout the country. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Larkey,
Here.
Councilmember White,
Here.
Councilmember Powell,
Here.
Councilmember Pryan,
Here.
Councilmember Clark, Kraft,
Here.
Councilmember Clark, Councilmember Goff,
Present.
Councilmember Lawson,
Here.
and Councilmember Richardson.
Here.
We have a quorum. Next, I would like to introduce to who's here and who hasn't met the new city manager, Joe Warren. So, welcome aboard. Thank you. It's been a long process, but we're here. All right, personal appearances, none. Consent agenda, one motion, none available to approve recommendations noted. Any member of the council may ask for an item to be taken from the consent agenda for discussion and separate action.
Present.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Ordinances. A motion approving the final reading of Bill 2022-47.
An ordinance readopting ordinance number 91-2073 as amended, establishing a procedure to disclose potential conflict of interest and substantial interest for certain municipal officials.
Present.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Lawson,
Yes.
Goff,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Richardson,
Yes.
Pryan,
Yes.
Kraft,
Aye.
White,
Aye.
and Mayor Larkey.
Aye. Motion carries. B, a motion approving the first reading of Bill 2022-48.
An ordinance annexing into the corporate city limits of the city of Belton, Missouri, approximately 103 acres generally located at 4200 Bong Avenue.
Present.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? And Greg, do you want to, I'm going straight from you to him because, do you want to?
Basically, we talked about this several months ago that after 2.5 years of struggle, Kansas City, Missouri has finally de-annexed the golf course, which is the city golf course that was in Kansas City, Missouri. With their de-annexation, now it's time for us to annex it, and they requested that we annexed it very quickly.
Any discussion? Go ahead.
Would it be needed quickly enough that you would like a second reading this evening?
It's on here
It
already.
is. Okay, I only saw the first.
Well, I read, it says both, but I read first and I'm going to do the second.
Gotcha.
Anybody else? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Motion approved.
Oh, do we have to move for a second reading?
Oh, we do, even if it's on the agenda? Why did I not remember that? All right.
Motion for a second reading?
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the second reading. Any discussion on the motion for a second reading? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, now, motion to approve the second reading of Bill 2022-48.
An ordinance annexing into the corporate city limits of the city of Belton, Missouri, approximately 103 acres generally located at 4200 Bong Avenue.
Present.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Pryan,
Aye.
Kraft,
Aye.
Powell,
Yes.
White,
Aye.
Goff,
Aye.
Lawson,
Aye.
Mayor Larkey,
Aye.
and Richardson.
Aye.
Motion carries. C, a motion approving the first reading of Bill 2022-49.
An ordinance approving the 12th Amendment to the Old Town Belton redevelopment plan to approve the 621 Main Street project as redevelopment project 2022-04 and to authorize tax abatement as described therein.
Present.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Now, I gotta do the public hearing first. A public hearing regarding the proposed 12th Amendment of the Old Town Belton redevelopment plan for redevelopment project 2022-04 pursuant to section 353.110.3, paragraph 2, RSMO. So, public hearing's open. Anybody want to speak on? You're up first.
Mayor, I'd like to just provide a little bit of background, please.
I got that backwards. Go ahead.
Yeah, so as stated, the hearing tonight is for 621 Main Street, and it is located in the Old Town Belton redevelopment area. The total projected costs for this project are $21,000. All of those improvements are exterior improvements, and those include windows, doors, trim repair, gutters, paint of the house and the shed, leveling the porch, landscape removal, and landscape improvements. And the Old Town Belton Redevelopment Corporation Board did meet on July 6th and recommended unanimous approval of this project, and notices were mailed out to the appropriate taxing jurisdictions on July 11th, and the applicant is present tonight.
All right. In the public hearing, anybody want to speak about the public hearing about 22-49? Do you want to come up and speak?
I told him he didn't have to, if he didn't have to.
Do that. Why do you do that? All right. Any other body that want to speak on behalf of 2022-49 in public hearing? Hearing none, the public hearing will be closed. And back to the ordinance. Any more discussion on the ordinance? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. D, motion approving the first reading of Bill 2022-50.
An ordinance accepting a Mid-America Regional Council grant for services to individuals at the Belton Senior Center.
Present.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Go ahead.
I had a couple of questions. I guess, Andrea, you're the person in charge, right? Well, first of all, does this pay for the food? I mean, our budget, I looked at our budget, and there's no food in our budget, but, I mean, that sounds bad. But anyway, this seems to be, it says for services, but is this what's covering food, or does we get another grant for food?
The food is actually a separate contract that Mid-America Regional has. It's not a contract that the city holds through, I forget the organization, Don Bosco provides the food to Mark, and Mark provides the food to the congregant centers.
So this is just one Mark agreement, not
That's correct.
one of several, okay. And then it's kept mentioning project manager. Are you the project manager? Or who is the project manager?
It's probably either me or Bobby. It's probably Bobby, the senior center coordinator.
Okay, because it talked about a supervisor who I assume was the person who's on site. And well, anyway,
Between the two of
it's just a minor thing. I just didn't know who was in charge. And finally, there's a lot of talk in there about HIPAA requirements. Is there anything? But then when it talked about what they were going to do there, they talked about talks on how to be healthy, and maybe they give vaccines there or something. But what goes on that would be necessary to have HIPAA requirements?
When someone comes new to the center, there's an intake application, and that application has HIPAA protected information in it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it is kept in a locked office and a locked filing cabinet.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolutions, a motion approving Resolution R 2022-89.
A resolution authorizing and approving a public service agreement between the City of Belton, Missouri and Downtown Belton Main Street, Inc. to provide public service support for the Fall Festival in Belton, Missouri in September 2022.
Present.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. City Council liaison reports. Go ahead.
I'll break the Parks report into two parts real quick. The first one is some reminders that fall sports signups are underway right now. We've got Theater in the Park on Saturday, August 6th. It is Don't Dress for Dinner, a comedy for adults, so not the same family-friendly or fairy tale fare we've seen yet this summer, so something different. Reminder, the farmers market is every Thursday through October, 4 to 7 p.m. at Belton Assembly of God Church. We've got the carnival coming up. That'll be Thursday, August 25th through Sunday, August 28th at Memorial Park. We'll have a special farmers market for the 150th, and that'll be August 28th, 8 to noon on Main Street. And then we're having a special cruise night also during the birthday celebration weekend. That'll be Sunday, August 28th, 3 to 7, also on Main Street. So that's just kind of some upcoming fun stuff with the park. And then I just wanted to quickly kind of recap the park meeting we had last Monday. This was following some closures at our pool facilities because of lifeguard shortages. The Parks Department has worked really hard with our contractor to get staffing back in place at High Blue. So the patrons there have access to the rec pool there and the lap pool there. But there hasn't been a resolution yet for staffing for the outdoor pool. And I know folks have been worried about that and curious about refunds, but I can just assure people Parks is working really hard on that, and we'll have some outcome sooner than later. So just appreciate everybody's patience while we worked through that. And that's the update. Thanks.
Go ahead.
150th birthday update. Thank you, Allison, for taking about half of what I had to say. I love that. We have our sesquicentennial. I can't talk tonight. Invitations out for the special dinner. It is open to anyone. Tickets are $75 per person, or a table sponsor $750, not $7.50. We have lots of events throughout our Facebook page, and it is connected to a city page as well, so you can go onto the city website to find our Facebook page as well, and all of the amazing events that we have planned for that 5-day wonderful celebration. I didn't turn my mic on.
Repeat.
I'm going home.
Anybody else? We have
Planning Commission set a record 5-minute meeting to discuss menu boards, and we approved larger boards for those of us with vision problems.
Anybody else? Hearing none. Mayor's, my communication. I received yesterday a envelope from the state auditor. In it is a bill. Presently surprised, the bill for the state audit was only $84,293.13. So about half of what we were estimating. So that's for everybody in the public. I know everybody's been asking about it, and it was actually in my mailbox yesterday. I was kind of surprised. The only other thing I got is I know the election or the campaign and the ballot issues coming up next Tuesday. I just hope everybody gets out and votes and gets informed and gets out and vote. So that's all I have. So your turn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Off and running already with 2 days into the job. In addition to last night's public forum, remind everybody that we have another public forum coming up Saturday.
I should've said that. Thank you.
Make sure the public is aware of that. I believe it's 3 o'clock is when that is going to be. We had one last night. First 2 days on the job, I've got one-on-ones with 6 of the 9 members of the council already completed. One-on-ones with 4 of the 9 key leadership staff that I'm planning to meet with on the first few days. We'll have the rest of those completed in the next 2 days. I sent a 10-question high-performing organization questionnaire to all of the senior staff before I started, and they've all returned that. July 13th, I came in and we did some interviews for a finance director position, so we should have some finality to that tonight. And hopefully a potential start date of August 15th, so we are moving forward with that. And getting up to speed on what's going on in the organization and in the community. I want to let everybody know I will be getting out and meeting as many people as possible, as quickly as possible, just trying to get everything in line in the organization before we get started with that. So that's all I've got tonight.
Thank you. City Council communication. Go ahead.
Well, this is a follow-up to last meeting where I asked, where's the insurance coming from that our lawyer was looking for the 150th anniversary? Is that
He's getting
responsibility of the city or the?
He's getting ready to tell us that.
Oh, okay.
And I believe Andrea, I'm going to now throw it to her, as
I told
Andrea
you.
has been working with the insurance provider that was suggested to us. Last week I took over due to Andrea being not here, and she is the more knowledgeable person on the process that has been ongoing with the city on that.
I did receive an email back today with some additional questions on the coverage that we're requesting, so I need to talk with them tomorrow. So I unfortunately don't have much of an answer for you yet,
Okay.
but it is actively being pursued.
Okay. And the second thing is I yesterday sent a note about the Belton Welfare Association not wanting to turn on the water to a dangerous house, and which I thought is pretty obvious. But in the email, just suggesting that maybe we have better coordination between the water department and the building department about dangerous houses, and the fact that we shouldn't be, it shouldn't be up to our citizens, particularly nonprofit representatives, trying to do a good job to try to figure out whether or not they should pay for water to be turned on, or any other thing for that matter, when the city already has rules about it. So I just think it should be a one-stop thing. She calls the water department, or the welfare group calls the water department. The water department says, no, you can't turn it on because it's a dangerous house. And that would have been it. But again, she had to go around a little bit. So.
Yeah, I think your email will work. We'll get it. We'll get that squared away.
Okay. Thank you. That's it.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
I would like to thank Mr. Rokos for his 2 days of acting city manager, or however long it was. Greg.
2 days.
And 2 weeks? Oh, okay.
I can see I left with a really good impression with you.
I spent an hour and a half with my hour with Mr. Warren, and looked at my watch and said time was flying, but I'm really glad to have him here, and it's such a relief to see we have someone here taking over and going to run the place for us. So I just wanted to reiterate that we appreciate him coming. I hope he finds somewhere to live around here. He's having a hard time.
No, he will.
Available.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Just one more thing. I think we all feel like the use tax is kind of beating a dead horse, both online. But I just wanted to stress that the folks that came out, was it last night?
Yeah.
It's been a long day already. How grateful I am that they came out, and how impressed I am that they came out. A couple folks I talked to, one couple, the wife was open to the idea, mostly for it. Her husband was adamantly against it. And it was really cool talking to both of them. And I just want folks to know that if they're curious about it, if they feel strongly one way or the other, you can come and we can talk about it. And it is really just a cool thing to do. And we don't bite, and you're not outnumbered, and we're not there to tell you you're wrong or make you see it our way. It really is kind of a fact-finding thing, and we want to hear what people think and why they think that way. So just if you can come out Saturday, it'd be great to see a little different turnout.
Anybody else? Hearing none, items for review and discussion. Item A, Fire Department tanker purchase.
Thank you, Mayor. Actually, if I can go off script for just a moment, because I didn't get to talk to Mr. Warren like we usually do to say what things we need to get brought up. But if you've noticed on Facebook, there's a little bit of a competition going on. So if any of you were thinking about donating school supplies, you should come to the fire station and drop those off. Okay?
Is that the only location?
Yes, it is
Okay.
the only location.
No.
Yeah, you can come to the mayor's office too. I'll see that it gets to the appropriate place.
My first item up tonight is the purchase of a tanker. It is an item that we budgeted in the capital budget this year. It's been a bit of a difficulty in trying to narrow down specs on a truck that has a lot of moving parts on it and then still beat price increases. But we should be ready to go and have that on the consent agenda for you next meeting. It looks like it's going to come in about $50,000 less than I had budgeted, so that's a good thing.
Any questions on that item? Seeing none. Item B, Fire Department thermal imager purchase.
Likewise, they were also in this year's capital outlay budget. We've been working diligently on that and as well had problems with keeping up with the price increases, and it had some irregularities. We were going to try to use a cooperative bid that didn't work out. So it's currently advertised. It's going to close Friday, which will also give me plenty of time to have that on consent agenda for you on the next meeting.
Any questions? Item C, amendments to the Municipal Assault Ordinance.
Thank you, Mayor.
Ordinance, sorry.
It's recently come to our attention that our municipal assault ordinance is not quite in line with the state statute in regards to assault. We still had a assault ordinance for assault on law enforcement officer, which the state has removed. So we're working toward rewriting the assault ordinance to just bring it in line with the state statute.
Thank you. Any questions? Item D, Police Department AC unit purchase.
About 3 weeks ago, we lost 2 of our air conditioning units in our building. There were sections of the building that were quite comfortable and others that were like a sauna. One of the units is going to be able to be repaired here in the next week or 2, I believe. The other unit requires parts that are not available, and the soonest that we might be able to get them is October. We were planning on budgeting in the FY24 budget for to replace this unit anyway. It looks like we may need to get that done this year. Luckily, we've had a break these last couple days, but that's not going to hold. I mean, we're just now going into August.
Any questions? Item E, Police Department 3D scanner purchase for major crash and crime scenes.
One of the capital items in our budget for this fiscal year is a 3D scanner for crime scenes and crashes. Currently, the department uses what's known as a total station. It's similar to the survey equipment you see on construction sites to map out crash scenes. That equipment is about 15 years old. It's outdated, very cumbersome and difficult to work, and it only really serves one purpose, and that is large outdoor scenes. We're looking at getting a 3D scanner, which would be able to also be used in those scenes, but also be able to be used in smaller, more confined spaces to map out crime scenes, say in a residence. So the investment would be such that it would be a greater use to the department in our investigations, both traffic and crime investigations.
Any questions? Item F has been removed for reason they didn't tell me, but it's removed. Item G, Blue Valley Public Safety Maintenance Agreement rental.
Yes, our current contract with Blue Valley Public Safety is getting ready to expire. They've submitted a new one that I believe, I don't know if the city council has it yet. According to the memo, there's been some slight increases to those services, but obviously they're needed service. They're the company that basically maintains and runs our outdoor warning system for us.
Any questions? Seeing none. Public Works bulk salt purchase agreement.
Last year, we entered into a 3-year bulk salt order contract. This year, the contract actually is going to have to go up by $5 a ton, so we're going to go from $53 to about $58 a ton for salt, which may seem like it's a large increase, but the surrounding communities who are having to bid this year, their price is coming in significantly higher. So having us locked in this contract this year has been a great blessing for us. And so that will be coming forward here in the coming weeks.
Any questions? All right, Public Works slope mower purchase.
In our capital list this year is to buy a slope mower. The slope mower is a mower that looks like a mini tank. It's about 1.5 feet tall. It's about 4 feet by 4 feet. And it's able to mow slopes. The slopes we're talking about are just not like slopes around your house, but they're slopes that are along the interstate. One of the things we discussed last year was to be able to clean up the interstate along in Belton. And so as you enter Belton, you don't see this jungle that's in every other community, that we'd be able to do it. This slope mower is remote control. And so an operator can stand in a safe place and be able to operate the mower and go. It basically can cut down up to a 3-inch tree without really slowing down too much. So it pushes everything over in its way. It goes over the rock riprap that's around in the drainage areas and just keeps going. And so we're really excited to be able to purchase this and be able to start using it.
That'd be cool.
So our interstate
Go.
areas will look much better then. Our interstates will look much better then.
Yes, that's the goal. It's going to take us a while because it's been unmaintained for so long. It'll take a long time to get it back. But once we get it back in shape, we'll be able to keep it mowed and keep Belton looking nice.
Any reason why our friends in Jeff City aren't doing that? Just throw that out there.
Well, I can tell you before this last winter, they were short almost like 70 or 75 positions. And so they can hardly do anything. When you talk to them, they admit that their number one complaints is trash and mowing. And they say there's nothing they can do to get it caught up.
Barry?
I saw them with slope mowers in action at the riverside. I sat and watched them do it for a while. Really neat thing.
It's really quite impressive.
Yep, I turned it on. I saw that. He was giving me the cue back there. I'm sorry. But yeah, they're pretty cool. I wouldn't have one for home. Set and mow your yard.
Anybody else? Item J, I&I projects update.
So as you know, I brought forward about 3 months ago, we were going to do an I&I project. That's basically where the water is leaking into our sanitary sewer system. And we had an agreement that we were using from Johnson County to work with a local company to do the work. Local, I mean Kansas City area, not in Belton. And that company has failed to actually get us the information and would not sign a contract with us. So we went ahead with, we're going to go forward with one of our on-call contractors, Kissick, who actually has a proprietary method of doing I&I. And there's a way that they can stop the water, and that's the attachment from the service line into the main. And that's where a lot of water leaks in. And so we're going to go ahead and use their contract and move forward doing our I&I that way this year to be able to seal up a lot of our lines. We did do a smoke test, which many of you saw, and it did not yield the results we had hoped for. There was not much smoke that came out of the ground. We think the number one person who is putting water into our system must have a backflow device that stopped the smoke from going into their business. So we're going to do some more investigation to figure out how to stop that water from coming into our city sanitary system.
Any questions?
I have one, not for Greg, but just, what's the status on our financial director?
We're getting ready to do that right now.
Oh, okay.
Slow down.
All right.
Slow down.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I think this might be for Carolyn. What is the delay, 58 Mullen, or the old car wash removed now? Everyone's asking me.
I'm actually going to let Matt take that one.
So we have finalized the building permit for Take 5 oil change. I believe that should be processed and ready for pickup this week. We are currently reviewing the building plans for Chase Bank. So once we have finished that review, provide them any comments and get revisions back, we'll be able to finish that review and get that permit issued hopefully within the next month.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Sorry, real quick.
Go ahead. No,
I
go
probably
ahead.
should have said this during
Go ahead.
council
No,
comments.
you're fine. You're fine. Go ahead.
thanks to Animal Control for having the Pet Resource of Kansas City come out and do a vaccination clinic last Saturday. They were backed up to 163rd and would tell folks, can you go kill some time and come back so we can get caught up? That was a really cool thing to do. Officer Speece, Sarah, was there. It was just a really nice thing that they brought to the community along with the TNR programs. It's just really cool stuff happening. I wanted to shout that out.
Anybody else? I'd entertain a motion to enter an executive session, discuss matters pertaining to the hiring, firing, discipline, or promotion of personnel according to Missouri State Statute 610.021.3, and to discuss matters pertaining to individual identifiable personnel records, performance ratings, or records pertaining to employees or applicants for employment according to Missouri State Statute 610.021.13, and that the record be closed and the meeting adjourned from there.
Present.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Lawson,
Aye.
Goff,
Aye.
Powell,
Yes?
Richardson,
Aye.
Ryan,
Aye.
Kraft,
Aye.
White,
Aye.
and Mayor Larkey.
Aye. Motion carries. We're in.